So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good. So guys, I made a video earlier on, or yesterday, about Canelo Alvarez and the fact that Al Heyman is, not willing to make the Caleb Plant fight unless it's on a 3-fight deal. And I said, this is not going to work. This isn't going to work out because Canelo Alvarez doesn't want to be tied down to any promoter, doesn't want to be tied down to anybody, and he's only willing to do, he wants to be a free agent, and he wants to, do 1-fight deals, and wants to fight whoever he wants. He wants that freedom. That's the whole purpose of him breaking free of his deal with DAZN. And, while we were on live, my friend Mackay broke the news that ESPN said, and not just ESPN, by the way, Michael Benson has tweeted this as well, basically saying that now Al Heyman is willing to do a 1-fight deal with Canelo Alvarez in order to make the Caleb Plant fight. I think that PBC have probably come to their senses and probably thought, Canelo ain't signing a 3-fight deal with us. He's not going to sign a 3-fight deal with us, and the opportunity is too big for them to turn down. The opportunity for them to make serious money by Canelo fighting on their platform is too big to turn down for them to just say, you know what, we'll pass on it. And if Canelo doesn't have a 3-fight deal with us, we're not going to do the fight. And I said all along, there's no way that Al Heyman's going to let this opportunity go. It's too big an opportunity for me. It's too big an opportunity because Canelo's the biggest star in the sport. And imagine if he fights Caleb Plant for the Undisputed, how many pay-per-view buys that's going to do. We're looking at 600,000 plus without easy. So I just think the money that Al Heyman can make from that fight would be massive. And the interest that can generate, the numbers that will generate, I think it's a no-brainer if you're a PBC and Al Heyman, even though Canelo doesn't want to sign a 3-fight deal with you. I think the reason why Al Heyman first, it's a bit like when you're negotiating, you try your luck. You say, okay, we're not going to do the fight unless it's a 3-fight deal. You've got to sign a 3-fight deal with us, because that's just what every company does. But Canelo flat out refused, and he probably said, all right, give me another offer, a 1-fight deal offer, or I won't take the contract. Otherwise, I'll just fight someone else. And Al Heyman's probably thought, you know what, maybe gone back, or PBC, whoever makes the decisions, which is Al Heyman, of course. They've thought about it, had a chat, and probably thought, you know what, this opportunity is too big for us to let it go. Canelo's too big a star for us to not explore this opportunity and get Canelo to fight on our platform, because let's be honest, Canelo would move the needle massively. And that would do, like I said, big numbers. They're a pay-per-view platform, so it'd make them huge money. So it's kind of a no-brainer to me for Al Heyman to do the fight, especially if Canelo's willing to fight on Fox. I just think that they wanted Canelo to get tied down for 3 fights so they could benefit and maximize the revenue on their platform, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. They're just trying to, they're trying to, make the most they can out of Canelo, because they know there's a great chance that Canelo beats Plant, then Canelo's going to go do his own thing. They wanted to use Canelo for their platform to generate more money. I think what would have been an issue for me, and what would have been wrong, and what I would call politics in boxing, would be if they both get firm. Canelo says, no, I'm not signing it. And to be honest, Canelo's right. He doesn't have to sign a 3-fight deal to get a fight with Plant. But if Al Heyman had got stubborn and said, you know what, 3-fight deal or nothing, because then Canelo wouldn't have signed and the fight wouldn't have happened. Because I think more about the money, it's not the fact that Heyman can't offer Canelo huge money. I'm pretty sure Heyman would offer Canelo huge money. But for Canelo, it's not so much about the money, because Canelo's making a lot of money. It's more about the freedom. Canelo wants to do what he wants to do. Canelo wants the freedom of being able to fight who he wants to fight. And by being tied down to a 3-fight deal, Canelo loses that freedom, because now Canelo has to fight PBC fighters, because Canelo's not going to be able to fight ESPN fighters on PBC in that 3-fight deal. So basically, you're limiting yourself to basically Charlo and Benavidez. They're going to be his next fights after Plant. And I don't think Canelo Alvarez really wants to limit himself to fighting Charlo or Benavidez. He wants to think, oh no, if I beat Plant, I want to go and fight Beterbiev. I want to fight Bivol. You know, that's the mindset Canelo has. Canelo wants to do what he wants to do. He doesn't want to be told what to do or have to do something. You know, he wants to do what he wants to do. And I personally think that Al Haymon, Canelo, looks like that they may do a deal. And I personally think, I just don't think that like I had my friend Carl on live stream today, and Ray, and I went on their show as well. They seem to think that this fight's going to happen on DAZN. I'm not sure it does. I'm not sure this fight happens on DAZN, to be honest with you. I just think that if you're Al Haymon, why would you want Canelo Alvarez? If Canelo Alvarez, you know he's not going to sign it. If you're going to let Caleb Plant fight Canelo, why would you like that fight? Why would you let that fight happen on DAZN? I just don't think it makes sense for Al Haymon. He'd want that fight on his platform, especially when he knows Canelo's a free agent and Canelo can fight on his platform, because Canelo's not tied down to anyone. So Canelo can fight on their platform. But Caleb Plant is tied down to Fox. So the only way he can fight on DAZN is if Al Haymon allows him to fight on DAZN. Whereas Canelo Alvarez can fight on Fox. If Canelo had a deal with DAZN and he couldn't fight on any other platform, then we got a problem. Then Al Haymon or DAZN, but DAZN wouldn't let Canelo, being the cash cow, go and fight on another platform. Al Haymon would have to allow Caleb Plant to go and fight on DAZN, which I can't see. I think the fact that he's a free agent, Canelo, I think Al Haymon would want him to fight on Fox. And they've already said that they're willing to do a one-fight deal. The fact that they're already agreeing this stuff and saying that Al Haymon's willing to do a one-fight deal, I think that tells you that there's a great chance that this fight ends up on Fox. Now, I'm not 100%. As Carl said, it's not been done yet. It's not over the line yet. I just think the fact that Canelo Alvarez is negotiating with them, I think there's a very good chance that this fight happens on Fox. And I don't think Canelo has a problem fighting on Fox. I told you this. I don't even think DAZN have got a problem, because DAZN know that when Canelo comes back, listen, Canelo might not fight on DAZN. Next fight or the fight after. He's not tied down to them. He might have to fight Beterbiev on ESPN. If Bob Arum says, you know what, you're going to have to fight Beterbiev on ESPN, I'm pretty sure Canelo hasn't got a problem with that. Canelo Alvarez has already said that he's not tied down to any promoter or any broadcaster, because that was the whole purpose of him becoming a free agent. I keep saying it. That was the whole purpose. And it's a brilliant way. When you're a cash cow, that's a great thing to do, because he wants to fight whoever. He wants to fight whoever he wants to fight. So if Canelo is looking at legacy, Canelo's thinking, okay, I want to fight Plant, and he's on Fox. So I'm free, so I can go and do that. I can negotiate with Fox and get a deal with Fox, have that fight on Fox. Then after that, I want to fight Beterbiev. Okay, but he's with ESPN. Okay, I might have to fight on ESPN. Okay, I'll fight on ESPN. Okay, then I've got Android. Okay, I'm going to come back and fight back on DAZN. You see the freedom there that Canelo's got. Canelo wants that freedom. He wants that. He doesn't want to be told who to fight or have to fight this guy. Because if you tie down to a certain promoter or a certain broadcaster, you generally fight the fighters that they work with. So Canelo, if you sign a deal with PBC, you're looking at Plant, Charlo, Benavidez. And he's basically limiting himself to fighting anybody else. Because like I just said to you, he's not going to be able to fight the other guys that he wants to fight. There's no freedom then. He has to fight those names. And Canelo doesn't want that. Canelo wants freedom. Canelo wants to be able to fight who he wants to fight. And that's the beauty of being a free agent. But again, like Eddie Hearn mentions, that being a free agent is not a good thing. It's only a good thing if you're a cash cow like Canelo. If you're a guy that's not a cash cow, being a free agent's not a great thing. It's best to be with a promoter, with a broadcaster, because then they look after you. They get the fights for you. Eddie Hearn, like he always says, if you're with me, I'm going to give you my 110%. But if you're not with me, unless you're like a Joshua or Canelo, where you're so big and his business is going to benefit so much from him working with you, that's the only time he'll be willing to have a relationship like that. Otherwise, genuinely, he wants you to be in or out. He wants you to be with him or not with him. But when you're a Canelo or when you're a Anthony Joshua, they're cash cows, so they'll do so much for his business by him working with them. They're willing to have a guy that's, a free agent. They don't mind that. They just find it like an honor and a privilege to be working with someone like Canelo, who's a cash cow. And as a result, they know what that's going to do for their business. Because he's one of the biggest stars, he's going to move the needle. And that's why Eddie Hearn's willing to do that with Canelo. But someone that's not got the profile, not got the stature of Canelo, I think for them, it's probably better for them to be signed to a deal, signed to a promoter, signed to a network. But Canelo's such a big star, Canelo doesn't need to be. Canelo's his own man. So Canelo doesn't need to, sign with Eddie Hearn or sign with DAZN, or he doesn't need to. He effectively is working with Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is his promoter. He's working with him. So that's effectively his promoter, and that's a guy that's doing everything for him. And he likes working with Eddie Hearn. But he's not got a fixed long-term deal with Hearn, because when you're sign a deal with a promoter, they can also dictate who you fight, And Canelo Alvarez wants to be free. He knows that this way, for Canelo, he'll probably make more money, because people will pay him ridiculous money to come and fight on their platforms. Because ESPN want Canelo to fight on their platforms. Fox want Canelo to fight on their platforms. Everybody wants Canelo. DAZN want Canelo to fight on their platform, because they know what he can generate for their business. So DAZN will be willing to put up crazy money for Canelo to fight on their platform, because they know what he'll do in terms of, driving subscriptions. Canelo will move the needle. And that's what broadcasters want. They want the needle to be moved. Do you understand? So I think that's what Canelo does. Canelo moves the needle. That's why all broadcasters want to work with him. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Leave your thoughts. I'd love to know your opinion. Do you think this fight happens on Fox or DAZN? Leave your thoughts. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.